Welcome to Sellers Sessions. I am your host today, Sharon Evan, and today I am writing solo. I do not have a guest today. Unfortunately, I had a death in the family, which meant that I had an unexpected funeral 2 days ago, and I was supposed to have a pre-recording done with someone that is supposed to be on today, but instead they'll be on in a couple of weeks from now. So I was stuck without a guest for today. And therefore, you guys are stuck with me alone today. But lucky for you guys, I already have quite a lot of content up in here. So I was able to put something together really quickly for you guys today. So I thought that in continuation with my guests last week, which was Jamie and Michael from the Endgame Network in Australia, we spoke about product research and sourcing for 2021. And if you guys heard that, if you didn't, it was a great session. You should definitely check it out. But if you did hear it, then I asked them a question, which was, do you guys now source your products or do product research differently with the current climate, with so much going on, so much has changed in the last year? And their answer was no. And my answer I said to them that I am sourcing products or doing product research in a different way for some things. If you're watching me live, there's a lot of sun. There's a window behind me and there's a lot of sun here, which is why I look all shiny. So I apologize. I can't do anything about it. Anyway, so I asked them that question. They said no. And then I told them that I am doing things a little bit differently. So I thought that I would speak about the specific subject because I'm also presenting on this specific subject next week at the E-commerce Builders Summit. And the subject that I'm speaking about is pricing your products with cash flow in mind and how to leverage your money. So most people, when we're looking for products to sell on Amazon, whether you are a new seller, whether you are an advanced seller, a lot of people have the mindset of the more units you sell, the more money you make, which is in many, many situations true. But also the more units you sell, the more cash flow that you need because we are buying stock and we're putting money into inventory ahead of time. Now in 2021, which is obviously when we're doing this nowadays and today specifically, we have so many things that have a huge impact on the way that we source. So the first thing is obviously, and I've spoken about it many times on this podcast, container prices and shipping in general prices are up dramatically. So a container that used to cost, let's just say $3,500, something along those lines, between $3,000 to $4,000, in 2019, today is costing between $17,000 to $21,000. And, that alone, I already know has had a major impact on many sellers' profits. A lot of people, they make $5, $6, $7 profit, but they sell in the thousands and, some of their products are no longer viable. So that's one. Two, raw material pricing. In many, many, many situations, raw material pricing has gone up. So we've got shipping prices gone up, we've got raw material prices have gone up, and then we've got lead times that are taking a lot longer than usual. Lead times today for a typical product can be times 2 to 3 of what they used to be. So let's just say if you have a product that you were sourcing that took 30 days to manufacture, it could say that now it's taking, 60 days to manufacture plus an extra 30 days than usual on the shipping. So some sellers, and this is also including us for specific products, that are sourcing products or some of your products that you may source, you may have only needed to buy 3 months in advance worth of product, and now you may need to buy 6 months in advance worth of product. And there are some costs that you're going to need to pay for in advance. Most shipping companies or freight forwarders will ask for you to make your payment just before the container leaves the dock. Or before it's released from customs. So in some scenarios, people are in a situation where not only do you need to order a lot more in advance, but you also need a lot more cash up front compared to back in the day. Now, on top of that, Amazon has also proven that without notice, they will also make changes to our inventory limits. So the last time, a couple of months ago, when they changed the inventory limits, it was without any warning. They just did it overnight. They just said, hey, as of today or as of tomorrow, as of now, inventory limits are on an account level rather than an ASIN level. And before that, they changed it. And every time it's something new. So if we recap to that, we've got shipping prices have gone up dramatically. We've got raw materials have gone up in some niches, not all, but in some niches dramatically. We have lead time being a lot longer than usual. And then we also have inventory times changing dramatically. Sorry, inventory limits changing dramatically overnight with Amazon. So taking all of that into account, and which is a subject I want to talk about today, if we take all that into account, for some people, the way that we source today, it may make more sense to place your product in advance as a higher ticket product and make more money profit-wise, or make more profit on the product but sell less units rather than to sell more units and less profit. So in the presentation that I present in the e-commerce builders summit, I go very, very in depth on a specific case study of a client of mine where we bundled a specific product, and from day one we put a lot of effort into understanding who the buyer avatar is in order to understand how we can place the product in a way where we can go after the higher ticket type of buyer, the spendthrifts as we call them, and the people that are willing to spend a lot more money, but there's less of them in that specific niche. And in that specific niche, it's a knife niche, a very specific type of knife niche. And it wasn't oversaturated, but there were plenty of cheap Chinese sellers. And when I say cheap, like $20, $30 products. But when you would look on page one for the main keywords for that specific product, you would see a whole bunch of different ranges of pricing. You'd see $120, you'd see $150, you'd see $70, you'd see $60, you'd see $30, right? And this product specifically, if you source it from China and it high quality, if you source it in a high quality, if you source it from a supplier that makes high quality, you know how to have quality control in place, and you do your inspections and your factory audits, etc. Then this specific product was costing around $4 per unit, and then another around $2 per unit for the bundle. So these types of products can be sourced for between $4 to $5, $6 and sold all the way up to $150. And it's all about the way that you're branding and positioning your product. So in this specific case study, if you guys end up watching that presentation, you'll see that from day one, we went in, we did really, really in-depth buyer avatar research. We really understand we really went in and understood who are the type of buyer avatars that buy this specific product in order for us to understand how we can differentiate the product so that we can place that product at a higher ticket level and eventually obviously sell it at a higher price point. And we took into consideration from day one that we would be making a lot less sales, but would be making a higher profit margin. Now, I said in the beginning that this is only going to obviously work for some people, not for all. We all know that part of the way that Amazon ranks products is also, apart from SEO and traffic, etc., it also has to do with your sales. If you don't sell as much, theoretically, you're not going to rank as high. But there are some niches that are very nichey, and we don't have super saturated, like thousands of listings. There are some niches where it's okay to sell 5, 6, 7 units a day, and you'll still be on page one, somewhere in the middle, okay? And this was that type of niche. And I know that because we did a lot of tracking for that specific niche. I think I've spoken about it on the podcast in the past. There is a tool called Totalytics, which basically Helium 10 made a very similar tool called Market Tracker, where you are able to track your specific market. It's going to show you exactly what the market cap is for that specific niche, and then you're able to identify what is the potential and market share within that specific niche. And if you know how to track it properly, you can also understand, if you use that with Keyword Tracker, you can also understand how sales are impacting the way that the products are ranking as well. I hope I explained that well and it made sense. Anyway, we did in-depth research, and I realized that it's not that you didn't need to sell more than 6-7 units a day in order to be able to stay towards the top of page 1. So I said to my client, look, this is a product that if we position it really, really well and we're able to add $2 more to bring in this other product and bundle this product where we're killing 2 birds with 1 stone for the buyer avatar, I believe that we'll be able to sell it for at least $79.97. And the client, went along with me. And if you watch the summit presentation that I do there, Daddy's also speaking in the summit as well. And if you watch the presentation, you'll see that he trusted me. We went through, and you can see the history of his BSR because I show there how well he was doing in that price point. But what I wanted to share with you guys today, and if you're listening to this on the podcast, I'll check out with Danny whether we can put an image of what I'm about to show everyone, because I'm going to do a screen share. And if we can't, then find this specific recording on YouTube and then fast forward it to this part so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to do a share screen. All right. So what you guys should be able to see now is the screenshot of how I calculated the potential for this specific product. So my calculations were, if we sell this product for $19.97 and we sell around 100 units a day, and the landed cost for the product without the bundle would be around $5. FBA fee around $5.40, and the PPC budget that I'd put aside was around $5 per unit. Referral fee around $3, estimated profit per unit around $1.57. Okay, this is just profit. I estimated that by selling 100 units a day, having only $1.57 profit, they're only making around $157 per day. Okay, if we fast forward to over here, selling at $39.97, selling around 40 units a day, landed cost was around $7. Now, why is this $7 and this $5? I took into consideration that if you are selling 100 units a day, it means that you would most probably need to order a lot more units up front, which means you could probably get better pricing, which is why this is $5, and that's including the shipping as well. And over here, it's $7 landed cost without the extra $2 for the bundle. Okay, you could see here, taking into consideration FBA fees, PPC budget, referral fee, and the referral fee changes according to the price, obviously. Estimated profit per unit is around $16. Estimated profit per day is around 662. Now, there's a lot of things I didn't take into consideration here. Okay, this was just quick calculations. And then you can see here that the estimated potential profit for 30 days is around $19,889. Okay, from selling 40 units a day, making $16 profit, and selling at $662 profit per day, it's around $19,000 profit per month. Only profit. I don't care about revenue. It's irrelevant. Okay, but you also would need to order around 14,600 units per month, per year, not per month, 14,600 units per year. Now, the cost of 14,600 units per year minimum is around 100,000 in sourcing money put into inventory per year. So let's remember that Amazon pays us every 2 weeks. Let's remember that every time we source products, we also source more so that we don't go out of stock, right? So if you are selling 40 units a day, that's around 14,600 units a year. You're not actually going to order 14,600. You're going to order probably a lot more than that so that you don't go out of stock. So you're actually going to have a lot more money consistently put into inventory. Not only that, you need to order more units. And you're also dealing with the inventory limits, which means that you may have enough, you may have the ability to bring in this specific product, but you may not be able to send in more products. I'm going to take a quick sip of water. Now, I had calculated that if we sell this product or we try and position it, remember we're talking about a specific knife, that we had added a bundle to it. And within that specific bundle, with that specific bundle, we also did hardcore branding. So we put a lot of effort into the positioning of the product and the way that it was packaged, the way the buyer feels when they receive the product, which they don't necessarily know until they receive it, but we did a pretty good job with the images in order to show how the product is much better quality. To be honest, it's the same quality as everyone else's, but the listing looks so good that it looks like it's better than everyone else's. That's one. And two, we created a bundle that wasn't that expensive, but allowed us to ask for a much higher price point. And it's a product that if you buy this type of knife, you have to have this type of product. And no, it's not a sharpener. It's not a knife sharpener. It was something else. Anyway, from my tracking, my in-depth market analysis and competitor analysis, I had come to the conclusion that if you sell the product at $79.97 with this specific bundle, we were probably going to be selling around 5 units a day. But that would be around $43.17 profit per product. Let me explain that to you. The landed cost is $12. Why is the landed cost higher than on the left-hand side? Because on the left-hand side, we're only sourcing the actual knife. And on the left-hand side, they're also sourcing, they're purchasing a lot more than what we are here. Here, we can order a couple of hundred units at a time. So the cost per unit may be a little bit higher, plus we've added on a $2 product. So we've got $12 landed cost. On top of that, we have $5.80 FBA fee. The FBA fee is only slightly higher because it's just for $79 compared to the $29, the $39 products. Then the conversion is probably going to be less. There'll probably be more people clicking on it. From my experience with PPC, when you sell higher ticket, when you position a product in a niche where there's both lower ticket and higher ticket, sometimes your conversion will be a little bit lower. It doesn't mean you're not going to be profitable, just means you may get more clicks. So we put $7 aside for that. Referral fee is $12, which is 15% of the $79, leaving us with $43.17. Estimated profit per day was $217. Okay. Estimated 30-day profit, so over a 30-day period, is around $6,476. The potential profit per year is around $77,000, okay? But you only need to source around 1,825 units per year. Now, obviously, you're going to source more than that. So between 1,800 to 2,100, something like that, units per year, costing you only $21,000 per year put into inventory. Now, why is that something worth talking about? Because at this current time, putting so much money into inventory ahead of time can set a lot of people back, and a lot of people may not have the cash flow to be able to deal with that. So sometimes selling less is actually going to give you a better outcome, because number one, you can use this model for this type of product. You can use this to help you to scale so that you can use that other money that you're making to copy and paste the formula from this with another product similar to this scenario. So imagine if you could find 5 to 10 of these products. Not only are you diversifying yourself and you're not putting all your eggs in one basket with having, 1 or 2 bestsellers, but you've got, quite a few products that sell well. Nothing crazy. We're not talking about 40, 50 units a day. We're talking about 5, 6, 7 units a day. And if you watch that presentation, you see that the client ends up selling around 5 to 7 units a day. And it means that he doesn't need to order, 6 months worth of products in advance. because the lead time isn't crazy on this, and sending this, he has perfect inventory planning for this because he already knows more or less how much he's selling now on Christmas. He will sell more than what he's selling now. He also sold more last Christmas as well than the 5 units per day. But the point is that he only needs to put in around 21 to, let's just say, maximum 25K a year into inventory, meaning he's got his money is left in his bank account to be able to then use the same formula into other products, right? That are also selling a couple of thousand units a year. So the potential here is huge. And I'll explain to you why. If this client was able to, I'm just going to calculate it. Let's just say he needs 2,000 units a year. Okay. If we times that over a period of time, but let's just say 5 products. Okay. 5 products. You know what? Let's take this number here, $77,000. The $77,000 potential profit. Okay. $77,000 times 5 products. That's $385,000 potential profit per year. Now, before anyone starts saying, yes, but you need to launch. Yes, you need to launch 5 different products. Yes, you need to get photography for 5 different products. But those are things that you only usually need to do once. If you get it right from the first time, you only need to usually do that once. And at the end of the year, if we look at that, 2,000 units times 5 products, it's only around 10,000 units a year that you need to source. Okay. And you've got a lot less money tied up in inventory. So the moral of today's podcast is that, and I'm going to leave this on the screen for a little bit so people can really ponder it and have a look at it. And again, if you're listening to this on the podcast, go back and look at what I'm talking about. Sometimes selling at a higher price point is going to be a lot more effective for your cash flow than to sell at a lower price point and sell a lot more units. There are many, many, many niches on Amazon that you can still be on page 1 and get those impressions and be seen by only selling 5 to 6 units a day. They exist. They're nichey, they're super nichey, but they exist. And I am the type of person that's like in the waters with this kind of stuff every single day. Promise you these types of things, and the word promise and guarantee don't come out of my mouth a lot, but these types of niches, they do exist. And not everyone needs to be a 7-figure seller to be happy with how they're doing. Not everyone needs to be, sourcing 50, 60, 100,000 units a year of products and putting so much money into inventory ahead. For some people, that's not doable. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't sell on Amazon or sell online. It just means that maybe a different model is going to work for you. For example, this one, which is selling less units per day, but a much higher price point. And also, you can also do this in multiple marketplaces. So I've got a different client that also has a similar situation where they're selling their products on Amazon US and Amazon Canada, and the situation is more or less the same. So it's copy and paste. What I sell in America, I sell in Canada, and it's more or less the same. It makes a little bit more money than in America than what he does in Canada, but it doesn't matter. So the moral of today's podcast is sometimes it makes a lot more sense to sell less units per day in order to be able to control your cash flow in a much smarter way, and a way that is going to give you room to breathe, and you're not going to feel strangled and need to start borrowing money. And you can also use the money that you're making to bring in more products with the same type of formula. And at the end of the day, you can end up making a lot more money. Plus, you're diversifying yourself with this specific scenario instead of the other scenario, which is, let's have 1 or 2 products that are selling 50, 30, whatever thousand units a year, which is great, amazing, really, really good. But you're also, putting all your eggs in 1 or 2 small baskets or big baskets. And you're also prone for attacks. Whereas when you're only selling a couple of units a day, or 5, 6, 7 units a day, you're less prone to get attacked as well. So that was today's podcast. I hope I was making sense and that you guys were able to understand where I was trying to take you with this. This is just me sort of planting a seed. And some people may be listening to this today and it may make sense to you, and you may go and look into these types of niches and see that it actually makes sense for you. And for some of you, it won't make sense for your niches. But for those people that it may, I hope that I was able to plant that seed and show you a different outcome. And it's not just about how many units. I've heard people say in the past, if you don't sell, 30 or 40 units a day, then you're not making money. And it's such a load of crap. Like, it really is. And I don't enjoy saying this kind of stuff, but it really is. It's not about the units. It's about, what are your goals as a seller? What do you want? What is your cash flow situation, etc.? And does this suit you, right? Anyway, thank you guys for listening. I hope that you enjoyed the content today. Next week, I will have on Megla and Margaret for sourcing from India. It's going to be an awesome show. I'm looking forward to it. I think that sourcing from India is a subject that in 2022, at least, is going to be a pretty hot subject. So I'll see you all next week. Isabella will be back on Monday and Danny will be back on Tuesday. If anyone wants to reach out to me, you can get a hold of me through Facebook, or you can go to my YouTube channel, Sharon Evan. And I encourage you all to sign up to the e-commerce builders summit as well. I think it's like $7. It's totally worth it. There's heaps of amazing speakers there. Danny's speaking as well. And I will see you all next week. Bye.